32, 24, and 15. So just to tell you what the numbers were this morning, the payrolls number, they were expecting 200,000, came out at plus 223. Okay, so that was much more than expected. The unemployment rate went from 3.7 expectation down to 3.5. I guess the only thing here that they were expecting that's positive as far as the stock market is concerned is looking at the hourly earnings. They were at 4.6, so they were expecting 5.0. Earnings, again, leads to inflation, so you're having lower earnings growth means lower inflation. That's only positive in that number that I could see, but compared to what they've been looking at lately. But that's why we don't try to understand what these numbers mean. To keep saying that over and over again. As we drifted down here to 55 area, we have 53. Again, be a little bit careful here with this volatility this morning. You just never know what to expect with this stuff. It's a trade a little bit smaller. Just keeping that in mind as there's some extra volatility, and you just never know how they're going to react to the morning stuff when the traders start trading overnight. But at least we're bouncing here a little bit off of our 53 area, got down to 3.5, and giving us a nice little rotation there. Okay, so hopefully you're scaling in. Again, we're always advising that you scale in only because we're not going to be perfect. Obviously, 53 was our number, but we got down to 3.5, and a nice rotation here off of it. And if you look at the chat, for those of you who might have just come in a little bit late, you'll see our levels there for us as a guide to the day. We can look at them. We can tweak those a little bit. We can adjust those depending on price action. Every day has its own unique type of trade, and that's why we are give you levels, and then we might add to those. We might, again, a couple of times we've told you to be careful. We've already tested it, even though we didn't hit it, and we have to be a little bit careful. All right. All right, so we got down to the 53 area there. Nice rotation back up here. Coming right up there to our pivot area. Upside resistance is up at 72. Next support level we have is down at 43. Again, the unemployment number was out this morning. Showed some good growth. It was less than expected. I mean, it was better than last month, but still better than expected. And like I said, usually lately it's been, knocking us down. But I think the only exception here is the wages number was not as high as expectation was. They're expecting 5.5%. Came out at 4.6, so a little bit of a miss in that area, which I think is helping the market rally here a little bit as we continue to uptick into the 72 area next. And the first Friday of the month, and it means the non-farm payrolls report. Economists, as we come up here to the 72 area, in case you're trading it, again, whatever you do, keep your stops in place. Economists are expecting non-farm payrolls to show that 200,000 jobs were added in December, with the unemployment rate staying on a near 50-year low, got lower at 3.7%, and down to 3.5% right now. All right, coming up here against our 72 area here. giving us a little bit of a rotation here against our 72 area. All right, there's a quick 2 points. Obviously, we're scaling in, right? So keep that in mind. You got a nice pop down to 69. I mean, just take what the market gives you and look for the next opportunity. Obviously, if you tried to stay long there against the 54.3 area, you did okay. We did bounce to 71 and rotated off of that, coming back up here to 72. Now, this will be, again, depending on how you're trading, you took your profits there, hopefully, and then look for the next opportunity. Yeah, look, 600 lot there at 75. Somebody wants to sell some up there, and they take those out really quick. You know, there's a saying, there was a saying in the pit that the market goes to the orders, right? Which means that if there's a big order in the ladder ticket, you know, it is going to take it out. Somebody wants it. Somebody sees it. They just go up there and they just swallow it up. Now, who's going to be right? Right? Is the person buying that 600 lot, or is the person selling the 600 lot? So who knows, right? But somebody's buying. They went right up to it, swallowed it up, but now coming off of it here a little bit. So you could use that as a backdrop there. Again, if you're trading it, you could see it. You could use it to your advantage, right? You could trade up against it. You can use this to say, okay, if it goes through it, I'm going to exit. If it holds, okay, you can maybe sell something against it. Okay, so you see the stuff in the ladder ticket, you can react to it, you know, by just looking at what's going on in the ladder ticket and then reacting to the opportunity. It's an opportunity. Now, do we know it's going to go through, or do we know it's going to hold? We don't. But you know how to trade it once you see it. If you're going to use it as a backstop, that's great. I mean, I would not, if I see something like that, I would go with that person initially, but I know where my stop would be, right? And you also have to remember one thing, that everybody's seeing the same thing, so you have to react accordingly, right? So if you were short there, you're using it as a backstop, so you can say, okay, I'm going to have my stop a little bit above it and go with that, you know. And if you're going to trade against it and use it, then you could just sell some over there as well. Again, just giving you different concepts, different ideas of how to trade a big order that you see in the order ticket, and it's come off there very nicely. Somebody did buy it though, so somebody is long up there, or maybe they were just getting out of shorts, you know, who knows, but you could see that it was played and the order was taken out. So nice little trade there if you used it, even to 72. If you got short there, nice rotation here against it. So our first couple levels there are manageable. You should have been able to somehow, hopefully manage it somehow. We got a little bit above the 72 and the 72 area on the upside, and then it just got up down to 54 on the downside. So you had to 3.5 actually. So you had to scale in around that to get the 53 area. So right now, I would not be looking at the 53 anymore. I would probably be looking at our next support level there, 43. All right, let's get back to this. Wage growth will also be a focal point in indicating how much the tight labor market may be contributing to inflation. Consensus estimates see an average growth, hourly growth rise of 5% versus 5.1 in November, and that figure has risen from 4.7 year-to-year growth in October. So coming back down here as we quickly rotate back down, nice rotation there against that. How does that person feel who sold the 600 lot? He's feeling really good versus the people who bought them. Now, I think this rotation to the downside is part of the people who bought that 600 lot, right? Because they're getting out probably of their longs somewhere along the line here. And it's creating more push to the downside. Just giving you some context as to what that 600 lot is doing as we quickly rotate back down here. We're looking at the 46 area next, coming down here to Our blue band there, we're 43, sorry. Our blue band is at 46 ish. No, it's at 48. So right here is our blue band. We got a little support around here. We have 43. So kind of use that whole area as maybe a little bit of a buying opportunity. Again, sometimes you just got to look at the price action as we continue to downtick here. We're looking at be a little bit careful there, 43, only because we stopped there at 45 and a half. If you're a little bit more risk averse, adjust a little bit, I would suggest. Very whippy. You get a 30-point move basically in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So things, you got to keep your stops in place. You just don't want to get caught up in one of these big moves here when it goes against us. There's no reason to try to figure out where it's going to stop because we're just not that smart. What is the Fed watching? Price pressure has shifted from goods side of the economy to the services side of the economy, where the cost remains elevated given the fact that the labor market remains strong. Companies are continuing to hire for many open roles, making it difficult for the central bank to tamper demand and bring inflation under control. A chief economist said that the Fed is looking for 3.5 to 4% wage growth to get the economy back to a 2% inflation level. And this month's number will help determine if the November wage growth increase was part of a trend or an aberration. So I guess it was an aberration. Going back down here to 4.5 versus the 5%. Hopes for a soft landing may still be in the cards, but the longer the current dynamics play out, the greater likelihood the economy could tip into a recession, according to one of the Fed governors who was speaking yesterday. He is hoping, Fed is hoping to pull off an unusual feat in reducing open job openings without increasing the unemployment rate, as it continues to raise rates to bring supply and demand into balance. Optimistic investors are banking the scenario as well, but more pessimistic ones have been busy hedging their bets and diversifying their portfolios. We quickly rotate down. Remember, I said just be a little bit mindful of the fact that you have to adjust your trading a little bit to the price action. So I said be a little bit careful there on the 43. As we dipped a little bit down here, down the 40 area. Again, you have to look at the price action, determine, you can't take everything just because we said 43 doesn't mean it's going to work out. It had to obviously get down there a little bit earlier. Got back here to 43, giving you a chance to scratch some. If you just buy it, maybe you entered a little bit better than that. But obviously, you have to watch the price action. Nothing here is etched in stone. If you adjust it a little bit to the downside, you're getting a nice little rotation here. Again, you have to adjust a little bit based on the price action. All right, so we're getting a nice rotation there. If you adjust it, maybe you decrease your exposure a little bit, making it a little bit easier to stay with the trade. All right, at least we're moving around here a little bit. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I don't mind questions. Just trying to trade what the market gives us. You have to be a little bit mindful of the price action and then kind of trade that accordingly as we continue to downtick here. Next support level we have is down at the 32 area. And we're quickly rotating back down here to the 32 area a little bit. And we are mired in that big range from like 10 days ago as we quickly rotate down here that we just can't seem to get out of. Very much of a consolidation area and this big range here that we are stuck in. All right, market's coming down here to 32 area again. Oh, I haven't got down here yet, but trying to get down here to the 32 area. Got down here to 33. Coming down here to the 32 area now. Working this 32 area here a little bit. Chopping around, as you could see. Very nervous little market, right? All of a sudden, rally was good, then all of a sudden there's a break here, and I don't know what I was expecting with the market coming down to the 29 is the settlement price, so should add a little bit of support for us. At least giving you a chance here to scratch some of the trade if you don't like the price action, or if you did take some quick profits on the upside on the rotation before. All right. Sometimes it has to go down to go up, right? that's the dynamic of the market. You know, you're long, but you need it to go down first, so it catches everybody a little bit short and then rallies. Well, we did the 29 the settlement price did hold very nicely, giving us a nice little opportunity here against the 32 area. Maybe you scaled in down there as well, looking at the market. All right, nice little pop back up here against that 32 area. Got down to 29 and then pop back up. Anybody has any questions, again, feel free to ask in the chat. You see in the chat box the levels that we gave out this morning. All right, let's see what else we can talk about here. All right. Again, the numbers from unemployment kind of, you know, not coming up with the same scenario. Like you hear all these job cuts that are happening all over the place, and you still have the strong. These numbers are pretty strong, and the unemployment rate is pretty low. Very weird dynamic that the market is dealing with, you know, and so that's why you have this uncertainty in the market, and that's why we have the volatility that we're going to have. All right, got down to 29, kind of holding that settlement price very nicely. Getting started 32. All right, the market is kind of staying here on these interim lows. See where it wants to go. Went down, tested the settlement price. I'll back up here a little bit, but nice rotation there off of that 75. Come flashing back down there. 45-point move, basically in, what is that, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Big moves, right? Hopefully we're able to, and if you got short up there and stayed short, you did fantastic. All right, Don, you have a great weekend. Thanks again. All right, market bouncing off of that. Well, we had 32, got down to 29 there. This the settlement price and pop right back up. Good area to be a little bit long. And hopefully you're taking advantage of this little rotation. Little resistance around the 50 area. We get above 53, 54. Could push a little bit higher. All right, coming back up here a little bit. Again, we are still in that range from like I don't know, about 10 days ago now. and right in the middle of that range. It's amazing. That's a nice rotation against the 50 area we talked about as some resistance. Got right up to uh, right up to that 50 area there, and hopefully you're able to maybe take advantage of that little rotation here against. We talked about a resistance at the 50 area, and I will pop back off of that level. Got right up to 50 there and bounced off. That's where we are looking to this price action play that we're looking at. All right, nice rotation there against 50 area. I would say they forget about 53, maybe. Give it some impetus to the upside. All right, nice rotation there against the 50. If you were looking for a quick little scalp against the price action, again, patience is important, and the waiting for opportunities are very important for us. All right, we sent above the 53. They popped it all the way up there to 57, 58 almost, and then popped it right back down here. Well, so again, once we got above the 53, nice little quick rotation, hit some stops. And again, I think well, they got right up to flush it all the way back down. Very, very tricky little market. Again, maybe we're able to get long and take a little bit of a profit there, and then they flush it back down here quickly. Yeah, it looks like we're going to uptick here a little bit after getting above the 53. Could go up to, well, at least initially up there to our pivot area. That would be a target. All right, got right up to the 63 there and coming back off of it. At least the market is giving us a couple of nice bounces off of areas that we believe that it would. So that's kind of nice. It's nice when it does what you expected and wanted to do. All right. Very, very chopping little trade all over the place, but I think we've been trying to pick our spots and wait, be patient and wait for opportunities. All right. Nice little rotation there against that bond market. Look at the bond market here. They are woken up. What's going on over there? Kind of adding to our little rally here, I think. They woke up big time here. Didn't even notice that. They even gapped on a 5 minute. How's that possible, right? Very rare for the bond market to gap on any market to gap on a 5 minutes. All right, we got right up to our 63, our pivot area before, came off of it. Now we're coming back up here. We already tested the 72, 75. I think it's a little bit of a buy there above the 77 area if we get back up there. And you could, I don't even know if we could sell the 75s, but be a little, you have an out if you're going to sell it. And the guy who bought that 600 lot's feeling a lot better now. And if we hold the 63, they could push up a little bit higher. All right, so my bad. I should have looked to see if there were any numbers coming out. And there was a number that came out at 9 o'clock, ISM services. And that's the reason that the bond market rallied and we kind of followed through. So at least the ISM services number fell from 56.5 to 49.6. Obviously, it's less than expected. Most of it is reflected, they said, in the weather-related disruptions in December. But again, a lot less than it was expected, and a lot better than last month's number. That's why you have this big rally there in the bond market, and this continuation rally here in the S&Ps. So I did not notice, or I did not look actually, but I will say that we have a few Fed speaks after this coming up here at 10:15. There's a Fed speak at 11:15. There's a Fed speak at and then later on this afternoon at 2:30. Well, I mean, I don't know if that was. I think that's given. I don't know if that was a new thing in the minutes that they were going to. They're gonna. At the end of the day, they're going to look at the inflation numbers and look at growth. Or, I don't. I think they're always worried about the stock market. I don't know why, but they do. I don't think a stock market rally would be unwelcome. I think the dynamics of the market are not going to prevent that from happening anyway, because of the what's out there with the bond market telling you that there's going to be a recession. And I think any rally's got to be tamed, not because of what the Fed is doing, but simply because of what the economy is doing, at least for a time being. And they have gotten to this. They have put us in that position. All right, so the ISM services number did create a little bit of a pop back up here. Again, sorry I missed that. I did not. I was trading the market and forgot to look and see what numbers were coming up. But it did give us a couple good opportunities. We did have a buy there above the 53, got up to our 63, so we have a little resistance there, and then now we're continuing to rotate back up here. Bond market staying strong.